Alright guys, so what did you guys find from the interviews with the professors?
I found that common theme that every professor pretty much talked about was making the students feel safe and comfortable in the environment. Students need to know that it's going to be a confidential area. They're not going to want to talk unless there's a sense of community and friendship. They're going to feel like they're being judged unless they have friends in the class or that there's a community there, so they can openly talk with the peers and with the professors. You got to do the sandwich approach with them. You got to give them positive feedback with the negative critiques, and then end it with something positive to let them know that they are doing a good job. They got to feel really safe and really comfortable in the classroom.
Yeah, I also found that positive feedback followed by constructive criticism was key in the learning process. The biggest connection that I found between professor interviews was the importance of active learning. It's important that students are not just listening to lectures by the professors, but actually doing activities that help them learn important concepts. One professor in particular, Gary Gagne, specifically stated that you don't understand something until you can do it and explain it to someone else. Some of the activities they mentioned in the interviews were open discussions, in-class activities, student-to-student teaching, and constructive criticism.
Yeah, I found that active learning doesn't happen unless they're feeling like what you're talking about is relevant to them. When the professors give examples, they got to make it relate to the students. Students love sports and music. They're in college, so you got to make it relate to them. Give them examples about bars and drinking. That's what they're into. Students also don't want to pay attention to the professors unless you're giving value to them. You got to be relevant to present day. You can't be stuck in the past. They want real-world examples, stuff that's going on in the news. They want to know business, things that went on in the business world for them. It's got to relate to them. It's got to be really relevant.
Right, yeah, and to go along with that success, a lot of it comes from knowing what's expected from them. And that can come from the professor. Let them know, give them a semester-long objective, even daily objectives, break it down to an agenda that what you're going to talk about through that class. And to go with that, according to all the interviews, a lot of professors had to say that having a structured outline correlates with higher grades, which means breaking down the homework, letting them know what's going on, how to even do it. Even having a rubric to go with their projects they're doing. This gives a clear understanding what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. Keeps the student on the right track, really.
Yeah, and I think we'd all agree that rubrics and guidelines are essential for providing good feedback and learning for students. Our research shows that the professors that we interviewed are often ineffective at giving feedback, and a big part of this is because of time constraints. The students are so busy with the work and the projects that they have from other classes, they have limited time to retain and truly understand this feedback. The semester goes by quickly, and understanding the feedback and applying it takes time. On the other hand, the professors have as many as 16 chapters that they have to go through, and that leaves them no room for error. An important quote I found from one of the interviews was from Dr. Ken McCarran. He said, "I'm always in constant fear of not being perfect in regards to giving feedback." Professors need to learn how to balance their priorities when giving this feedback. Instant feedback is the best so that students can continuously improve and evaluate themselves going forward. Time constraints are such an issue that if there's one snow day, it can cause the domino effect.
Yeah, and to go along with the feedback, a lot of professors had to say that students, they're just not used to giving feedback to each other, especially when it comes to negative feedback. A lot of them will just stick with the positive because they know that's what everyone wants to hear. They don't want to make their other peers feel bad. They tend to beat around the bush, avoid the truth, and saying what they really need to improve the student, which goes along with them not even knowing how to give the right feedback, which correlates to professors. It all starts with professors. They need to be able to teach the students how to give right feedback and make them comfortable to give that negative feedback to improve each other.
Yeah, guys, we've conducted some great research.